My name is Kat, and today I'm unboxing some books. So here I have another book outlet order to unbox, and it's very heavy. It's very heavy. If you missed my last unboxing video, then you might have missed the news that Book Outlet has this really cool thing where myself and some other booktubers are featured on their website. I'll put the link in the description down below in case you want to check out my page and see all of the books in this order as well as previous orders I've placed with Book Outlet. And for this video, they're letting me do something else that's pretty cool. I got to choose a book from their website and they gave me a code, and now I'm gonna give that code to you guys to get 50% off this book. And the book I chose was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell because I love this book, and if you haven't yet read it, now is your chance to get your hands on it for 50% off. 50% off an already very cheap price, might I say. But the code is only good for the first 48 hours that this video is live. I'll put all of the details as well as the exact time perimeters down in the description in case you want to jump on this. Alright, let's move on to the actual unboxing part of this unboxing video. How do I position this? I can't. I'm gonna set it down. I have scissors. I came prepared, and let's just do this thing. Should I even try to show you guys? Oh, whoa, there's a lot of books in here. Okay, how many books did I get? Oh my goodness. This is exciting. Okay, I have 21 books for less than $100, including shipping and handling and tax and all that. And the reason I said 21 like it was a question is because there's also a box set in here and a couple of books that are bind up. So it's like multiple books in the book. So it's probably closer to 25 books for less than $100. This is amazing. Let's get started, shall we? So I'm actually gonna start with the 2 bind-ups that I got. So I have here the first 4 books in the Shadowfall series by CC Hunter. The first bind-up has Born at Midnight and Awake at Dawn. And then this one has Taken at Dusk and Whispers at Moonrise. A lot of you guys have recommended this series to me, and I always see it on Amazon and Goodreads, and I'm tempted to get it. So when I saw it for very, very cheap on Book Outlet, I had to get it. I had to. It was $3 for the first one and $4 for the second one, so I couldn't resist. Into my cart they went, and now they're here. Next, I have the box set, which actually only has 2 books in it, and it's not the complete series, so it's one of those box sets where it's like, was this really necessary? But I wanted it. So I have here the first 2 books in the Pathfinder series by Orson Scott Card. I'm gonna take off this plastic wrap. Take it off. Take it off. What am I singing? Pathfinder is book 1 and Ruins is book 2, and these are pretty. They're shiny. I didn't know they'd be shiny. I like the shine. Now, I'm not a fan of Orson Scott Card as a person, but I'm trying to separate the art from the artist, and I've heard these books are really good, so I do want to give these a shot, but Orson Scott Card is just, he's not my fave. Next up, I have here The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin. This is an illustrated children's book set in the same world as the Game of Thrones series. So that's different. Ooh, the illustrations are really nice. I like it. I like the illustrations. Look, there's a dragon. Rawr! It's a really short book. It's only 120 pages, and there's a lot of illustrations and a large font, so I probably will read this one really soon because I'm 11 books behind in my reading challenge, and this will help. And also it looks really interesting, so I want to read it anyways. Next up, I have here The Pledge by Kimberly Durting. Now, I read the first 2 books in her Body Finder series, and I liked those, but not enough to commit to the rest of the series. However, I do still want to read more by her, and a lot of people have said that this is even better than the Body Finder series, so I picked it up. I'm gonna give it a shot. Then I have here Steel by Carrie Vaughn. This is about a teenage girl who's a competitive high school fencer, and when she's on vacation, she somehow ends up traveling back in time and finds herself on a pirate ship. I really enjoyed Voices of Dragons by Carrie Vaughn, and the premise of this one just was too cool to pass up. Then I have here The Living by Matt De La Pena. This sounds like a really thrilling survival story about a boy who was working on this cruise ship, and then there was an earthquake and a tsunami, and he ends up lost at sea. I haven't read a novel by Matt De La Pena yet, but he had a story in the anthology My True Love Gave to Me, and his was one of my favorites, so I'm really interested in reading a full-length book by him. Next up, I have here Adaptation by Melinda Lo. I've really been wanting to read something by Melinda Lo for a while now. I've had my eye on Ash, which is a Cinderella retelling, but I've actually had this one recommended to me more, so I decided to go with it first. This one is a contemporary sci-fi thriller, and it sounds like it might involve aliens, so I'm into that. Next up, I have here The Paladin Prophecy and Alliance by Mark Frost. I didn't even know this series existed, and then all of a sudden, I was just seeing it everywhere on the shelves at bookstores and recommended to me on Goodreads, and I was intrigued. Apparently, it's suspenseful and addictive and compared to Harry Potter and The Bourne Identity, so I like everything I'm hearing about it. It was like $3 a piece for these two hardcovers, so I got them. I want to check this out and see what is going on here. You know, sometimes I get comments that are like, why would you buy multiple books in a series if you're not sure you're gonna like the series? And the answer is, because they were so very cheap. Like, when I can get 2 books hardcover for $6, I don't care if I haven't started the series yet. I am getting those books. You don't let that opportunity of bargain books pass you by. Or at least I don't. And that explains why I own so many damn books. Then I have here Outpost and Horde by Anne Aguirre. I'm probably saying that wrong, I'm sorry. And these are books 2 and 3 in a trilogy, and I do not yet own the first book, but these were so cheap I couldn't pass it up. I'm gonna keep my eyes out for book 1, and hopefully I can find that at bargain price, but even if I don't, even if I have to pay full price for it, getting these for so very cheap makes up for it, I think. Or at least that's what I tell myself. There's too many books here. Wow, I said that. Next up, I have here 100 Sideways Miles by Andrew Smith. I really enjoyed Winger by Andrew Smith, and a lot of my friends have actually already read this book and they really liked it. So I want to read it. I want to like it. I want to see what's going on here. Andrew Smith has written some pretty weird books, and if this cover is any indication, this is gonna be kind of weird, and I kind of love that. I love the weird. Bring on the weird. Then I have here #Scandal by Sarah Ackler. I actually talked about this book last year in one of my new releases videos, and I just never got around to actually picking it up. But I really liked 20 Boy Summer by Sarah Ackler, and I wanted to read this one too, so here it is. Then I have here Eve and Adam by Michael Grant and Catherine Applegate. Now the premise of this is like a sci-fi Adam and Eve type story, but it's really the fact that Michael Grant and Catherine Applegate are the husband and wife team behind the Animorphs series that really had me sold on this. I loved Animorphs. Like, I grew up with Animorphs. It was one of my favorite series, and I just am really intrigued to see what these authors put together post Animorphs. Then I have here Team Human by Justine Larbalestier and Sarah Reese Brennan. It's set in a world where vampires are out and like everyone knows about them, and we follow a girl named Mel whose best friend is dating a vampire, and Mel is just not a fan of that. It sounds really hilarious and fun, and I am just a sucker for vampire books. No pun intended, but I want to read this. Then I have here My Life Undecided by Jessica Brody. This is about a teenage girl who is having trouble making decisions. So she puts her options up on her blog and lets the general public decide for her. As someone who is very, very indecisive, I relate to this, and you know, it sounds cute and fun and like hijinks, so I think I'm gonna enjoy this one. Next up I have here Tumble and Fall by Alexandra Coates. This one sounds like it's mostly a contemporary novel. We follow 3 teens who are like struggling with love and life, and their lives aren't gonna go on for much longer because there's a huge asteroid heading toward Earth and everyone's gonna die. So yeah, it sounds really interesting, and I just really love this cover. I think it's a very pretty cover, so I did buy it for the cover a little bit, but it sounds cool too. Then I have here Sea of Shadows by Kelly Armstrong. This is the start to a fantasy horror series, I think. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the synopsis, and I've heard really good things about it. Like, a lot of people have recommended this to me, so I figured I'd pick it up and give it a go. Next up, I have here Altered by Jennifer Rush. This is about a girl whose father is doing these experiments with genetically modified boys, and she ends up falling in love with one of them. I feel like I got a lot of sci-fi in this shipment of books, and I think that's a good thing. I like the sci-fi. And finally, I have here Prophecy of the Sisters by Michelle Zink. This one is about twin sisters who just became orphans, and now apparently they're on opposing sides of this prophecy, and one of them is on the side of good and one of them is on the side of evil, and it just sounds awesome. Okay! Let's see if I can pick these up now. How many books are there? 22. 22. There's 22 books. I got these in one hand. This is the harder stack because this is more hardcovers. Oh boy, I got them. Wow, I'm actually really impressed with myself for doing this right now. I don't know how I'm going to set them down, but I'm holding them currently. Am I jinxing myself? Maybe a little. Oh no, I lost one. There's just one. It's okay. I only lost one. It's fine. It's fine. I got this. I got it. All right, that is it. Finally, the longest book haul ever. Not really, but it kind of feels that way in this moment. Is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great night, and I will have another video up soon. So I will see you then. Goodbye. I'm like out of breath just from lifting up that box. Oh my goodness. 100 Sideways Miles by Andrew Smith. They fell. They just fell. All the books just fell. Books. I'll pick you up in a minute. Stay calm. It's about a girl who's having trouble making decisions. This is about a teenage girl who is having trouble making her own decisions. I can't say decisions. I haven't heard a lot about this book, maybe because it's just that